Hi everyone. I've gotten pretty used to doing these videos off the cuff over the past several months, but I hope that you'll cut me a little slack and let me use some notes for this one. Well, this is never the way we envisioned this campaign ending, both because of the result and because we can't be together. I just conceded the race to Councillor Auchincloss and congratulated him on his victory. I wish him and his family all the best. This was a hard-fought campaign, and I'm glad that in the end we shared the common goal of making sure that every vote was counted, and both supported Secretary Galvin and the clerks as they did so in the last 2 days. Today, we're ending the quest that began 11 months ago, and of course, it is a tough day for our team, as it is, I'm sure, for all of you, the people who made this campaign happen. I want to take a minute to talk about the end of this race. I won't be filing for a recount, but that doesn't mean that I'm content with the returns. I have serious concerns about some gaps in the process that came to an end early this morning. And I say that with endless respect for the city and town clerks, for Secretary Galvin and his staff in the elections division. They are amazing public servants who are doing the best that they can in an election conducted in the most unprecedented of circumstances. A global pandemic, voting by mail at a scale we've never done here in Massachusetts, record-setting turnout, and a postal service under attack. I am grateful for their grit and their dedication. But the fact that votes cast over a 1-month period were still being counted at almost 2 o'clock this morning, nearly 54 hours after the polls closed, indicates that we have some work to do to make sure that our democracy operates smoothly. And we've better get at that quickly because November will be here before we know it. The people of Massachusetts need to have faith that their ballots will be counted, particularly when we have a president bent on confusing, lying, and this week encouraging illegal voting. We need to set a clear example here in Massachusetts of how you get it right. I hope that the confusion and unanswered questions around this election can be a moment of reflection, outside of politics and outside of the live or die nature of campaigns. I hope my opponents in this race, the clerks, Secretary Galvin, legislative leaders, and the governor will see that there are some strong signals here that despite everyone's best efforts, we might not be ready for November, and the clerks in particular need our support. Voting by mail is wonderful. Expanding turnout and participation in our democracy is wonderful. And yet we have to live up to a better standard if we're going to continue to say that every vote should count. I can assure you that I'll be out there arguing and advocating and, if necessary, agitating and being accomplice to others in this fight. I'll be asking questions, and I'll be there on the front lines as I always have been. And I can assure you that if the ranked choice voting campaign needs a new face, give me a call, guys. I got some time on my hands. I want to thank all the candidates who were in this race and their families. It takes a lot of courage to put yourself out there, to put your name on the ballot. I want to thank them and congratulate them on the races that they ran. Becky Grossman, Natalia Linos, Asan Leckie, Ben Siegel, Alan Casey. And to add to that, Dave Cavell and Chris Zanetos, who, while ending their campaigns, brought so much to this race, and I will be forever grateful for their support. I'm proud that I stood up for the values that are at the core of this district: access to healthcare, standing up to the fossil fuel industry and big pharma, fearlessly taking on those who would roll back our reproductive rights. We raised more than $1.2 million from more than 5,500 individual contributions, and we were outspent on television by a factor of more than 7 to 1. But we had a secret weapon, the grassroots muscle of this campaign. And who was our muscle? Ayanna Pressley, Maura Healey, Suzanne Bump, Diane Patrick, State Senators Paul Feeney and Becca Rausch, and Julian Steer, State Representatives Carolyn Dykma and Carol Doherty, Jim Hawkins and Denise Garlick, countless local leaders, organizations like NARAL, Planned Parenthood, the Coalition for Social Justice, and 24 labor unions, including Mass Teachers, Mass Nurses, SEIU, the Painters, and all of you, our fellows, our volunteers, our supporters. I'm so thankful to all of the people and organizations for standing side by side, not with me, but with our values in this race. I'll never forget that you put yourself on the line for the things that we believe in, and I will work my heart out for those things with you in the days, weeks, and years to come. We faced unprecedented challenges in this campaign. And as we said almost daily, there is no playbook for how you run for Congress in the midst of a global pandemic, made only worse by a crippling economic crisis and the systemic racial injustice that has plagued our nation since before its founding, all exacerbated by the failed leadership of this president. We were creative, resilient, and thoughtful. And this is not the outcome that we wanted, but I am so proud of this team and the way we ran this campaign. Through it all, we never strayed from the issues that grounded our campaign from the start. We may have to lick our wounds for a little bit, but if I've learned anything from this campaign, it's that none of you are easily broken, and all of you will be back at it tomorrow, fighting for the kind of systemic change that our country needs right now. That's why Team Jesse will be back on the phones this weekend, making calls for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Our number one job right now is kicking Donald Trump out of the White House, and we are not taking our eye off of that ball for 1 second. We're also not taking our eye off of the ball when it comes to the issues that we raised throughout this campaign. Medicare for all, a Green New Deal, paid family and medical leave, uninhibited access to reproductive health care, investments in transportation and affordable housing, and dismantling the systemic racism that is embedded in every corner of American life. This campaign has only strengthened my will and passion to fight for the fair, just, and equitable path forward that our country so desperately needs. And I hope that you will continue to be my partner in that work. And now to the dangerous part. I need to pause to acknowledge a few people who deserve some special shout outs. My better half, Pratt, and our pup and chief surrogate of this campaign, Isabella. My parents, Bob and Jet Mermel. Pratt's parents, Flash and Benny Wiley. My brother Pete and his family, and my amazing group of girlfriends. My staff, led by the incomparable Katie Prisco-Buxbaum. Some of our top supporters, Ayanna, Maura, Suzanne, our friends in labor, our friends in the women's organizations, our friends at women's health organizations, countless state and local leaders. I am so grateful that you stood in our corner. Our finance committee, chaired by Laura Gassner-Auding and Benny Wiley, our endless list of town captains and our volunteers, and our incredible fellows. I can't tell you how many times I heard from people on the road the last few weeks what it meant that we were a campaign that attracted so many young people. You are our dancing, singing, shouting warriors, led, of course, by young women who always brought the hard work, energy, and fun that a campaign like this demands. To all of you, and particularly to the young people who were the spirit and the soul of this campaign, I'm sorry this didn't work out the way we wanted. But I need you to know that I am forever grateful for your hard work, each and every one of you, and I can't wait to see what you do next. You are our future, and I will forever have your backs, just like you've had mine for these past 11 months. So thank you again from the bottom of my heart. I'm so humbled and honored to have had you on this team. Thank you.